Michael Pompeo doesn't get a lot of things, but on the list of things that he didn't get was the memo in regards to the Chinese spy balloon. Michael Pompeo is doing a media tour and writing op-eds like this one. Chinese spy balloon fiasco exposed Biden's astonishing weakness, and Xi will drive a truck right through it. Anyway, some stupid ass shit. But let's look at the real news, because this stuff is pretty cool. Chinese spy balloons under Trump not discovered until after Biden took office. So let's check out here. We have an update. There were more balloons, everybody. This is an incredible fucking update. This is news that you would have never even considered possible. You have motherfuckers like Mike Pompeo saying we gotta nuke China now and it's all Biden's fault or some shit. Who knows? But apparently there were 3 balloons under Donald Trump. 3 balloons. There were 3 motherfucking balloons. Okay, so that's crazy. I mean, I thought 1 balloon was bad enough. We were all sitting here like, my hair was on fire. I was thinking, should we leave the country? They had balloons coming from the sky. It's like Red Dawn. You ever see Red Dawn? Not the one with the Drake and Josh guy, but the other one. The first one? You ever see Red Dawn? I'm thinking like, goddamn, the balloon's coming. First the balloon, then the fucking Chinese. They're going to fucking parachute down and they're going to steal our American ways of life. You know what I mean? And now we find out there were 3 balloons under Donald Trump. There were 3 balloons. So that's 4 balloons in recent history. That's 4 fucking balloons. Like, what the hell's going on here? But let's, circle back here. Let's see what Mike Pompeo has to say. So, again, so far, Joe Biden has seen 1 balloon, and he did shoot it down. Donald Trump saw 3 and didn't shoot any of them down. What does Mike Pompeo have to say? Now, keep in mind, Mike Pompeo knew about these balloons. He was the motherfucking Secretary of State for the United States of America. He knew about the balloons. When Mike Pompeo wrote this article, he knew about the balloons under Donald Trump. But let's read. One of President Ronald Reagan's greatest lessons to the world was that showing clear strength and strong resolve results in peace. Yeah, Ronald Reagan, the guy who famously said we don't negotiate with terrorists and then behind the scenes was negotiating with terrorists his entire administration. Yeah, that Ronald Reagan. Pretty good guy. In contrast, weakness, appeasement, and ambiguity can lead to war. And yet America's foreign policy establishment, bold embodied by the Biden administration, embraces weakness. This was on full display last week when the Chinese spy balloon flew over our airspace. I fear Biden's response will only continue to invite the Chinese aggression. So this article was written, by the way, today. Well, I mean, I don't know when it was written. It was published today. Right? This was published 8 hours ago as of this showtime. Right? So 8 hours ago, this guy's talking about how a balloon, 1 balloon, is basically going to destroy the whole country. And then in between then and now, we learned that Donald Trump, again, Secretary of State Pompeo, unless all 3 of these balloons are under the Tillerson Department of State, Mike Pompeo knew about these balloons. So I ask you this motherfucking question. Are these motherfuckers on drugs? Like crack cocaine, methamphetamine? Like, seriously, how are you going to write an op-ed about how balloons are causing World War III when you didn't do anything about 3 fucking balloons? Is that going to cause, like, World War IX? Like, what the fuck? The official said that the intelligence community is prepared to offer briefings to key Trump administration officials about the Chinese surveillance program, which the Biden administration believes had been deployed in countries across 5 continents over the last several years. After the Biden administration disclosed last week that a suspected Chinese spy balloon was hovering over Montana, the Pentagon said that similar balloon incidents had occurred during the Trump administration. In response, former Trump administration Defense Secretary Mark Esper told CNN on Friday he was surprised by the statement. Now, Mark Esper, I don't think he was there for a lot of that. I think Mark Esper kind of wheeled his way into the Defense Department in the last little bit of the Trump administration. But that to me is really funny. That's really good. I don't ever recall somebody coming into my office or reading anything that the Chinese had a surveillance balloon above the United States, he said. Former President Donald Trump also said on Truth Social this week that reports of Chinese balloons transiting the U.S. during his administration were fake disinformation. The Biden administration official now says the incidents were not disclosed until after the Trump administration had already left, but the official did not say how long those incidents were discovered or when. So, we got a situation where there's 4 balloons. 4 balloons. There's fucking 4 balloons. I mean, it's already over for America. Like, I mean, let's be honest here. America's over. Death by balloons, you know? Death by 1,000 balloons is what's happening in the United States. Now, again, I just want to this whole thing, as if the cartoon show couldn't get any more ridiculous, you know? So, the Republicans want to go to war with China over a balloon. Democrats are the centrists, so they shoot the balloon down, but they don't want to nuke China, right? And then we find out that the people that want to nuke China over a balloon kept 3 balloons secret for years. You know, if you would have told me a week ago that I'd be doing 3 days in a row of fucking balloon coverage, you would have told me this a week ago. 3 days in a row balloon coverage. I would have said you're crazy. But a week ago, I was none the wiser. I was but a naive little deer in the headlights 1 year ago. And then came the balloon, everybody. And then came the balloon. I don't even know if there's anything else left to read. Let's read more of this Mike Pompeo bullshit. In my new book, Never Give an Inch, I write about how America created peace and security through the creation of real deterrence. Now, keep in mind, it just came out that 3 balloons were found under this guy's administration. This is, of course, Mike Pompeo's administration. He was part of the Trump administration. When Russia's proxy forces seriously threatened American forces in Syria, we annihilated them. So a balloon, everybody, a balloon, is just like sending American forces to Syria. A balloon. What would 3 balloons be based on this math? Right? Like, we fully understood Putin's ambition to invade Ukraine, and we used every tool at our disposal to deter him. That included crippling sanctions. Now again, this is Mike Pompeo talking, guy who was Secretary of State when his boss, Donald Trump, was extorting the president of Ukraine. Now, again, you can have whatever opinion you want, you know, whatever you want on the Ukraine and Russia situation. But the idea that, like, Mike Pompeo is, like, the guy defending freedom and liberty of Ukraine, I mean, motherfucker let 3 goddamn balloons into the United States airspace, and we gotta trust to what he has to say on Ukraine? This guy was Secretary of State. Now again, Mark Esper, Secretary of Defense, also on the chopping block. But Secretary of State, when the Chinese, and I do say that very sincerely, the Chinese sent 3 balloons to the United States. Can you believe that this guy is willing to sit here and write this crap, given what he is responsible for? We don't have time to worry about Ukraine and Russia. We got to worry about these fucking balloons, for Christ's sake. This is serious shit. I know, at first I wasn't really on board, but now this is a grave threat to the U.S. right now. Balloons. Not because the balloons are going to blow us up or anything. Not because the Chinese are going to fucking fall from the sky and take us over. But because right-wingers are going to see the balloons and freak the fuck out and nuke the whole planet. So now, I must say, this is a serious threat. If balloons can convince people in power to think about missiles and nuclear weapons and sending us to war with hyperpowers... What? Air Force General predicts war with China in 2025. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, that's one great headline right there, but that's a whole different thing. We drew these lines with respect to the Chinese Communist Party, too. When we found out it was operating the largest spy ring in the history of our country. The largest spy ring, like it's a movie. My God. We shut it down. Fearing the CCP's retaliation, administrations prior to ours had sat idle, choosing to appease the CCP. Now again, since this article has come out, we have discovered Mike Pompeo was in office at the Secretary of State Department as Secretary of State. He was in office during 3 Chinese spy balloons. 3. Not 1. 1 is called, like, 1, we got to send the nukes, launch the nukes at 1. What happens at 3 balloons? I guess we never found out because they didn't tell us. They covered it up. Very interesting. Anyway, the CCP uses TikTok as a tool of influence and propaganda inside the... Okay, that's not what the CCP uses TikTok for, right? This is not the argument. Like, when people advocate to ban TikTok, the argument is not that TikTok is propaganda. The argument is that TikTok harvests user data, which can be a security breach because China might know how everyone under the age of 20 likes to watch, like if they like to watch cat videos or dog videos, right? That's the argument to ban TikTok. I have never heard or seen anyone else say that TikTok is a tool of propaganda. I've never heard that before. So unless this is a new one that just dropped, Mike Pompeo is getting into the creative writing section of his fucking article here. TikTok is a propaganda device? That's new information. I would love to hear more about this. Instead of banning it, as we attempted to do under the Trump administration, Biden invites TikTok influencers to the White House. Okay, so this whole thing is bizarre. Okay. Biden influences TikTok influencers to the White House, right? Are they Chinese plants? Like, okay, let's figure this out. We gotta game this one out. This is some crazy shit. I came in here for the fucking spy balloon, and now here we are. But, okay. So TikTok is owned by China. And China, what does that have to do with a TikTok user being invited to the White House? Is that user a Chinese spy? Is it like a sleeper cell that they downloaded TikTok and then they were they were activated, you know? Like, or was it like Chinese propaganda is like they're manipulating the algorithm to raise certain people to become TikTok stars that they can, like, I'm trying to figure this one out because I thought TikTok was just harvesting user data, which that's bad, right? I don't like when any tech company does that. But now it's much more nefarious. Now Mike Pompeo is suggesting that China is somehow able to manipulate who becomes popular on TikTok and that they're using that to surveil the country. Now, this is some breaking ass news, okay? What? But again, these guys are fucking insane. I don't know what to tell you. And then you got this fucking guy. Like, look at what's going on with this guy's outfit. Jesus. But anyway, what if next week it is 10 spy balloons instead of just 1? That's a good... I'm glad Mike Pompeo asked this question because we found out that under his administration, there were 3 Chinese spy balloons. So I would ask this question. What happens if there's 3 spy balloons instead of just 1? I don't know. Maybe Mike Pompeo has an answer. But, I mean, that's some crazy stuff. I don't know. This is the news, folks. I'm doing a news show. This is a news show. This is what we do. We talk about the news here. And today in the news, we're talking about TikTok and spy balloons. Yeah, I know. No. This isn't a cartoon, I promise. It's a new show.